This is Planet Earth, circa 2003. And this is Planet Earth 2023.
Oh look, that's me.
In 2003, they released Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life, the only game of its kind on the market, and that made it the best.
Well, we hop over to the burning hellscape that is 2023, and we have Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life, one of the most faithful remakes I have ever seen. Whose idea was it to release a 2003 farming game in a post-Stardew Valley world? Was it yours? We'll get him. Anyway, Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life. What did I actually think of the game? I played through the entire thing. I think the only thing I can do is take through a year-by-year rundown of my time in the Forgotten Valley. So we boot up the game and right off the bat, I'm hit by Bree's song. Hey, if anything, this game gave us an updated rendition of Bree's song, and for that reason alone, I will allow it to keep existing. I am extremely acquainted with the original, so I noticed all the little changes. Are they better? Are they worse? Yeah, I don't know. They added in content. Well, kind of, you know. The game got subsequent re-releases where you could play as a girl, or play on the go, or play at half the frame rate. And some of those features got moved over. Not really the frame rate one, though. You can't play this game on a Viewmaster. I considered marrying Gustafa until I learned that they removed his butt-scooch marriage. And since they didn't care about trampling over the creator's original vision, I'll just go with one of the other new candidates. Lumina. I don't care if she's a bit on the younger side, okay? She's new content. And I gotta go for the new content. Like for example, if they added in, I don't know, let's say a mermaid, I would marry her. But hey, she's rich, she plays the piano, not to mention her father figure has an amazing mustache. So we get an introduction to everyone, Takakuro lets me save one of the dogs, and then we get a Bessie. And this is probably the third best improvement in this game, which was adjusting the cows. In the original, they were like real cows. They needed to give birth, and then they would give you milk for a while, but eventually they would run dry. You know, Daniel Day-Lewis would just come by and drink them up.
I drink your milk. I drink it up!
But these cows will give milk forever! I don't even think you can kill them by starving them anymore. You can milk them twice a day. You'll get a little less in the summer and the winter, so don't worry. They aren't drying up. They're just too hot. Regardless, they are a fantastic investment. Chickens are here too, but you know, lower investment, lower returns. Another thing that's been rehauled is the crops. They're good money to be sure, but I usually just stored mine away for some unholy ritual involving a demon Venus flytrap. Just don't fertilize the crops this early on. That's not to say don't buy any fertilizer. One of the first things you need to do in this game is buy 5 or 6 bags of fertilizer and then spread them around your field. That way they'll grow and they'll spread like wildfire throughout your field, making it so you don't have to buy Bessie fodder anymore. Anyway, if you played the original, your daily schedule is nearly identical. You wake up, you tend to your animals, you get your milk, you water your crops, but in this installment, you should definitely head off to the woods to talk to the little harvest demons. You see, cooking has been greatly expanded upon in this game, and they're the ones who give you the recipes. After getting another page of your cookbook, you should look around to see if there's a secret animal of the day. There are 5 animals. The forest can house an owl up in the tree trunk. The upper river can have the Gila monster, and the lower river can have a raccoon. And the pond, well, it can just have a big old turtle. Nami, what are you doing? No! She killed it! These animals means that you'll get better fishing for the day in the corresponding areas. If there is no animal, I'd just go fish in the sea. Those fish seem to sell for pretty good prices. However, you may have noticed that's only 4 animals. The 5th animal is a chinchilla that shows up outside the dig site. And honestly, this is where I ended up spending most of the game. In the later years, at least. Anyway, the chinchilla means that there will be better than average luck at the dig site today, which you'll definitely want to take advantage of. Between the hours of 10 a.m. and 5 p.m., you can help the professor and Flora at the dig site. You see, they're hunting for the slab.
Return the slab, or suffer my curse.
You'll be able to find one of the slabs per year, but everything else you find is yours to keep. These make for good gifts and great money. And this is probably my biggest complaint with this game, because the digging kinda sucks. I mean, I became really good at it. But right next to me, my friend was playing Stardew Valley, and he was tearing through floor after floor, battling monsters, finding all sorts of items with multiple uses, and I was just... The most excitement I would get is whenever Carter or Flora would walk in front of me, and that made it impossible for me to dig. For some reason. Flora! Move!
Okay, why isn't Flora a bachelorette? You know what? Better question. Why isn't Illuminata a bachelorette?
Anyway, the item is made for great gifts, especially for the marriage candidates. Coins for Muffy, statues for Nami, or for Lumina. And speaking of marriage candidates, I also low-key went for Matthew because he's dying of tuberculosis and because of how funny his online description is. At best, he's a hardliner. At worst, he's a pervert. I love this website so much. It calls for like blood kitsunes, and at one point it called the setting of the game the Forsaken Valley.
For one thing, even Mutak Soviets never do, is call me bad dog.
Oh my, you just let it go.
He has no money, but he is full of confidence. He's just like me for real. Anyway, another thing that I did daily was go and play weird bootleg Chinese checkers with the Firework Bros. And I don't know if I'm better than I was when I was younger, but these guys are completely incompetent. I remember I used to walk into the game with like a 50-50 chance of winning, but now like, just look at this! I don't know. At least it got me consistent ore for Lumina. After giving a gift to Lumina, I would walk around the town and give gifts to any townsfolk I may see. Except Murray. Oh, Murray. Murray, my disgusting old trash hobo. I hate. His name is like Toy. If anything, it should have been Moy. But they even took that from him too. They also took my sheds. I mean, the shipping shed was fine, but my murder shed? Now where am I supposed to keep my victims? I mean, Gordy probably took his brother in there and offed him, but like, why is the shed gone? Well, you know, besides the fact that it was 300% completely useless. Okay, so you're gonna want to return to your farm around 6 p.m. to milk the cows for the second time and re-water the plants. Also be mindful of turnips. I had 2 separate friends tell me not to let my turnips wilt because it happened to them, and lo and behold, it happened to me too. If your cursor or your crosshair or whatever the heck this thing is, I don't know, turns yellow, that means that crop is pluckable. But yeah, that was my daily routine. Wake up, milk, water, recipes, fish, dig, bootleg Chinese checkers, gift, fish, milk, and water. And you know what's really cool? This perfectly synced up to television shows. Like, I would usually be watering as the credits ran, and then I'd fall asleep as they said, "Next time on Ascendance of a Bookworm." By the way, you gotta love the extra dreams that you get in this game. You can have one of your dream boy, or one of your dream girl, or one of 400 Sebastians just speeding around the room. just look at that little one standing right there on the table. He's my favorite. Also, the TV. I love that one of the developers had Bring Your Daughter to Work Day, and the Tykes art actually made it into the final build of the game. Also, I guess here's as good a place as any to talk about the #1 greatest change to this remake. The land bridge. This didn't exist in the original. It's just so nice to just zip across the river to Carter's.
Back in my day, if you wanted to go across the river, you had to go all the way down to the other side where the bridge was, cross it, and then walk all the way up to the dig site. We did that every time, and we liked it, by golly.
Literally, no one knows what you're talking about, you idiot!
Some say love, it is a river.
Liked it, by golly. Holy crap.
On the 3rd and the 8th of every single month, the entire Forsaken Valley is turned on its head in preparation for... Van. You can't go digging, you can't play with the brothers, and you need to go collect all the fish and artifacts that aren't needed because Van will buy anything. Also pretty good to sell flowers and mugworts. Actually, you know what? Don't sell mugworts. Cook those instead, and do not sell Happy Land flowers. In fact, all 4 of these flowers should not be sold. I only wish that I had known what a truly valuable resource those were. But Van is a great resource to transform excess items into cash. And in this game, he also sells clothes, which is just a nice little addition to this game.
I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. So sexy it hurts.
And then you go back to fishing. So much fishing. You know what? Screw fishing. Here, you wait, you tap B, and then God takes care of the rest for you. But while I was doing this, I had to sit and watch my friend get a fun and engaging minigame to get his fish. Well, I just... Is this supposed to be fun? It's not even really that profitable. I mean, yes, you will get some money, but it's proportional. If you wait a long time, you will get a large fish. But if it comes right up, it'll just be little, and you can't do anything to influence if you're getting a big or a little. It sucks, man. But at the same time, who really cares? In my opinion, the best part of farming sims is when you are so destitute that you really feel like you're actually working hard. You actually feel a sense of accomplishment, that you put in real effort to unlock every last shiny shekel. So the year progressed, which brought us to something that we didn't have in the original. Festivals! Now, there's only one per season, and unfortunately, they kinda suck. Okay, that's not exactly fair. It's just that they have very little actual character involvement. You don't get to move around or talk to characters or anything. It's basically just a glorified cutscene. Except for the fact that you will be at a different stage of your life each time you attend, so there will be different dialogue. For example, when your kid is a bratty teen, they'll ruin the fireworks festival for everyone.
Son, thing is, we're not disappointed.
We're just mad.
I wanted to be really suave and propose at the Starlight Festival since it is technically a date. However, after the festival, everyone was just spirited away back to their Mojo Dojo Casa houses, so I had to hit up Lumina the next day. And then I just played out the rest of the year. I'm sorry, Gustafa. I guess our Roomba wedding just wasn't meant to be. Also, you know, we gotta talk about the cutscenes. You know, they did brag. Over 70 events have been added. And get this, almost half of them work. I gotta talk about how the Bachelorettes handle cutscenes. Nami and Molly can lock you out of the other characters' cutscenes. If Molly says she only dates people who are serious about her, if you accept that date, afterwards, she will personally approach every single in the entire Forsaken Valley and tells them that they so much as glance at you, she will slash their tires. Oh, and Cecilia is beyond stupid. Okay, so in one of her earliest heart events, she tells you that Vesta wants to set her up with an arranged marriage and asks you if she should go through with it. Now, if you want to marry her your dang self, naturally you're gonna say no. But if you do this, you lose a bunch of friendship with her and get locked out of all of her future heart events. That's stupid. There is many mysteries, and there is no clue. The one thing that A Wonderful Life excels in that you just don't see in other farming type games is, well, actual progression. After Lumina and I got hitched, we had a bouncing baby boy. The old woman died, and then the doctor and this extremely Japanese family moved into the valley. Did you know? In the original Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life, the character Dr. Hardy is violating the Geneva Convention. This is the most momentous year. From this point on, the biggest changes will be the children getting, you know, newer character models. But I love my little guy. Toss him in the river. Blowing me away. So one of the big things that happens in year 2 is Takakura gets Vinny. Vinny is the only character with friendship decay, but he's also the only character with a huge benefit from befriending. So make sure you talk to him every day. I had a little personal rule that I couldn't milk my cows for the second time until I chatted with Vinny. It took me over a year to befriend him, but my sibling managed to get him maxed out in like a season. So maybe just spam him for like 2 minutes a day because what he gives you is insanely useful. But for me personally, I didn't get around to that until years 3 and 4, so I'm gonna have to talk about that a little bit later. The other thing to mention is the second best change in this game, which is tool upgrades. Oh my gosh, back in the day, you had to water your entire field with one square at a time for the whole playthrough. The very fact that Van can give me a tool where I can hit just 3, it's beautiful, man. Also, the dig site has expanded in size and items. So I wake up and I tend to my animals. I've managed to add in a brown cow. However, you should definitely make sure that you have 40,000 squirreled away by the time it reaches 8 in spring year 2. That way you can get yourself a goat. And the thing is that Van only sells those little chupacabras in the spring. Also, if you manage to get yourself a pond before the summer in year 2, you get 2 free ducklings. Also, it's around this time that I learned about 2 changes that really affected how I played. Number 1 is this list. You see, I was going to ignore the townsfolk because who can keep track of a relationship with everyone? I'll tell you who. This list. I'll gladly befriend everyone if this will track that progress. Number 2 is that some villagers will give you a record of music from previous games. And once you hit max friendship with everyone, Takakura will give you a song from the original A Wonderful Life. But my first record was 64 memories. I swear, every game that includes music from previous games includes 64 memories. I got a question for the comments. Can someone please explain the context of 64 memories? Like, what's happening in Harvest Moon 64 when this song plays? So in year 2, in addition to normal money-making tactics, I also started to try and befriend everyone so I could get that hunk of sweet, sweet vinyl. I also got 1 cow each flavor, brown, marble, and star, and definitely a sheep. Sheep are basically OP in this game. For example, I decided that I would only bother with brushing my animals when they got dirty. I mean, it says it right there. Don't forget brushing and hoosing. However, and this is important right here, if you disturb your sleep, you will lose your mood. But when I learned that a well-brushed sheep gave you golden wool that sold for 6,000 every 5 days, wow. I made sure to brush her every time I siphoned my cows. By the end of the year, everything was going pretty good for old Chippy. Then the next time wave washed over the valley. My toddler digivolved into a slightly bigger toddler, and honestly not a whole lot in the valley changed. Like, dig site and the items there within, you know, Van got golden tools. They are a tad expensive, but being able to water 9 squares in the Forsaken Valley is an experience so priceless that no amount of doubloons can make me want to give it up. Also, Van got a... what the frick?
There is not a chance I'm interested in this bear!
Also, $1 million? Oh, jeez. I knew that inflation was bad, but that just seems a bit much. But my big focus of year 3 was hybrid crops. I finally befriended Vinny to a stage where he could make the crops for me. By feeding him different crops and seeds, he can mix them together to make you a brand new crop, like a banapple or a mellow. Also, if you hung onto your trick blue flowers from fall, you can create blue versions of crops too. Use the seed maker and you can start creating armies of freaky fruits. Also, another side note is if you befriend Daryl, he'll give you a seed maker for free. In fact, the first time I heard the Heart Event song was when Daryl gave me his love in the form of a seed maker. And you're going to need to mess with hybrid seeds. Okay, one thing that this game added in was requests. And some of the more complicated quests involve making recipes that call for certain hybrid crops. I mean, come on, you want this Superfly sweater, right? Most of year 3 was just maxing out the last few friendships. I know that the wives like milk and the husbands like sashimi. And I still give consistent gifts to my son, wife, and Takakura too. Because once again, Xseed made an awesome game manual. This one being, So You Wanna Be a Farmer. A scrappy guide put together by Takakura. And there's one little excerpt.
I like gifts, I think. I can't recall getting one.
That is so sad! Don't worry, Takakura, I'll give you all the cooked meals I can get my dirty hands on. But most of the game consists of waking up, tending to animals and crops, and then hitting up the dig site. And it is getting big now, so I will give you Chet's guide for the dig site. You can't just hit all the squares anymore. But the pre-dug squares always have guaranteed objects. So at this point in the game, I only hit the squares that have already been dug. Later in the game, you'll also have to be a little choosy. You can kind of tell after you've hit each spot once. Start with the gold objects, obviously, and then hit all the dark brown spots. These give you gems, which usually sell for the most. And then after that, I hit all the normal brown spots for peculiar items. And then if you feel like it, you can get the fossils and coins. You know, they're kind of cool in real life, but in the game, kind of worthless. Also, fossils? I hate the fossils. In the old game, those were human remains. Another cool thing, for me at least, is the maker barn. Okay, so you take regular old milk and make it into butter and cheese. Store milk is not worth more if you make it into cheese or butter. And regular cow milk, you can put it into either. Same with the goat, but oh my gosh, it's worth so much more if you make it into goat cheese or goat butter. But don't even get me started on brown cows and marbled cows. That's where the crazy money is if you use the right cow. And I got 2 helpful acronyms for you. All right, remember this. Brown bakes better butter, and I don't know, frickin' marble makes mother frickin' mozzarella. just take the one that works for the brown and know that the opposite is true for cheese. Also, here's my big pro tip. Only do it on days where Van comes. The cutscene takes a little bit of time, and so I don't want to watch it every day, twice a day. No. Just watch it once every 5 days, and you'll make tons of money from Van. But after a year of steadily increasing profits, we move into year 4. So year 4 starts off with every bachelor and bachelorette getting hit with like 30 years of unfulfilled dreams all at once. Except for Lumen and Gustafa. They are aging gracefully. Also, your kid is gonna be a grumpy teenager. Also, you should be 60 hours into the game, which is the halfway point. Oh my gosh. In year 4, if you have any tool upgraded to the gold variant, all of a sudden a quest will unlock on the board that can unlock you the goddess variant of the tool. And these are so cool! Really, if we can embrace any aspect of this game, it's tool upgrades. Just look at the watering can does. Oh, I would have sold your soul to use this 20 years ago.
Did I just say 20?
The other tools are fantastic too. Do not sleep on the clippers, okay? They double the amount of wool that you get when shearing a sheep. Also, I love the Milk Vortex! At this point, I had maxed out friendship with everyone in the valley. Even the plants, so at this point, I've said everything. I think I just repeated my daily routine for 60 hours. I mean, I got tons of star cows, and I dug a whole lot, and I even made the million to buy that demon bear thing. The only interesting thing to do after you get the goddess tools is to hang out with Vinny, because you got all those secondary crops. Well, guess what? There are level 3 crops. Like, it's a bit much to explain here, but you can go to Reddit to get the exact, I don't know, recipes? Like, here we got garlic, and is that a human foot? That's just a football. Oh, what do we got here? Is that a disco ball? I love the level 3 crops. Only problem is that if you plant them and they take too long to grow, your entire stock is just wiped out. And it is a pain to get new seeds from Vinny. You have to save Scum a lot because there's only like a 1 in 3 chance that the combination will even work with him. I don't know. I think a dream of mine would be to fill an entire field with light bulbs, but I just can't anymore. But I did it. I went through the entire game. I saw through to the end what my younger self couldn't, and on the final day I attempted to cook every meal I could. I was a little short on some level 3 ingredients, but I did it all while listening to Wonderful, the title song of that game from all those years ago. I went around town and gave the perfect gift to everyone in the Forsaken Valley. It truly was a wonderful life. So while I was playing this game, I was trying to come up with some questions to see if you should play this game. Like questions like, do you want actual story progression? Or do you want a real in-depth crop simulator? But after, year and a half, or just, 2 or 3 years, my only question was, how do you feel when you hear this? Yeah, that should be your answer if you should play this or not. However, after playing through the entire game, my one suggestion on if you should play this game or not is no, frick no! Oh my gosh, absolutely not! There's not 185 hours of gameplay in this freaking game. Like, there is some gameplay, like maybe 60 hours. 60 hours is fun. Go through, once you get all the goddess tools, just pretend your character died in a horrific farming accident. No one should play this game. I had fun for this game. You'll have fun for this game for a while, but we are in a post-Stardew Valley world. Do not play this. Oh my